So, looking up here, we have the 75-degree angle here. What other angles have to be 75 degrees? Number 3 does. Anything else? Careful. Combination of 16 and 17 together have to be 75 degrees. If you take out this line that goes right here, that whole thing would be 75. But that line cuts through it. We don't know how it splits it, but it cuts through it. So for right now, that's the only one that has to be 75. So we've got 40 down here. 7 has to be 40. What else has to be 40? There are 2 more that have to be 40. 16 and 19. Now, if that's 40, we know then that this one has to be 35. Why? Because the combination of the 2 of those has to be 75. This one up here is also 35 then. Now, of course, we can find 21, 18, 8, and 6. They are simple. Let's do 8 and 6. What's 6 have to be here? 140, because it forms a straight line with the 40. It's supplementary. 8 is 140. How about 18 up here? $105, because these two make 75, and it's linear, so it has to add up to 180. We have the 30 degrees down here. What else has to be 30? 14 is 30 degrees. 5 and 2. So now we can find 1 pretty easily. That's 75 degrees. Why? Well, because that's a straight line, so those 3 add up to 180. That makes this one 75. We can find 13 and 15 rather easily. They have to be 150. Now that we have those, I can find 10 here pretty quickly. 10 has to be 70 degrees, because those 3 are the angles of a triangle, have to add up to 180. 90 has to be 110. There's 2 ways we can look at that. It makes a line with the 70, or again, these 3 angles add up to 180 for a triangle. So then this one is 70, 110. And I believe that's all of them. I'm going to give you that's a right angle. These are tangents here. Tell you the radius is 5 centimeters. We'll give you those points, and I will tell you that this angle here is 25 degrees. What else do I need to tell you? I want you to find number 1, angle FGB. Number 2, I want you to find arc ED in degrees. Arc EF. Angle CGB. We'll call that good enough for now. Well, let's see where this takes us. We're given a radius of 5 centimeters, which really doesn't say a whole lot for us at the beginning of this, but we're looking for angle FGB. FGB, so it's this angle here. If I know that this is 25, what do I know about this one? That's 25. We know these are 90, so that's 50. This up here has to be 130. Remember, that makes a four-sided figure. Adds up to 360, 90, 90, and 50. What's left is 130. And to be more specific, even this is 65, and this is 65. Each of those are half, which makes this arc here 65 degrees. What's this angle here have to be? 50, right? Because this is a straight line with the 130, that's got to be 50. Makes that a 50-degree arc. What does arc DC have to be then? Yeah. Well, no, 65 plus 50 is 115. Subtracted from 180, that's 65 degrees, which means ED is 65 degrees. EF. Well, this is 65, that's 65. This better be 50, because that's still a diameter. Those have to add up to 180. Angle CGB. CGB we've already found 50 degrees. Find FA and BA. If AG is this from here to here, if that's 13, how do we find those? Well, this is 5, so that would be 5 squared plus, if I call this x squared equals 13 squared, we would solve that for x. That's 12 centimeters. And remember, those are two tangents that intersect, so that they have to have the same length from the intersection to the points of tangency. Now I'm going to add a line here, just for fun. We're going to add that line. What does this angle here have to be? $32.5. You got it. This is a 65-degree arc. That angle being inscribed has to be half of that arc. How about this angle right here? Well, I've got an arc of 50 on one side, an arc of 65 on the other side. I add them and divide by 2. Is that 57.5 degrees? Look familiar? I'm going to add another line just for fun. I'm going to do this one across here. It goes through those 2 points. And these connect out here. What's this angle got to be? But what do I know this arc is? 65. Over here, what's this arc got to be? 115, right? 50 plus 65. So this angle, we subtract them. Very good. 25 degrees. What do you think? Starting to catch on? Well, the good news is there's not going to be any new homework today. I'll give you the test. Take some insights on the extra credit from the quiz. Let's take a peek. We have a circle with a diameter and a chord. Chord is at a right angle. We know that the radius is 3 centimeters. And we know that this is 2.5, right? That means this is also 2.5. It's asking what's KF, and KF is this little piece right here. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to label that X, and I'm going to label this piece up here Y. I know that X plus Y has to add up to 6. I know that X times Y has to equal 2.5 times 2.5. Because remember, if I multiply the two pieces of a chord, the two pieces of a chord that intersect it have to have the same product. So this is the same as saying X times Y equals 6.25. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to subtract X from both sides. That gives me Y equals 6 minus X. So X, I'm going to replace Y with 6 minus X equals 6.25. X times 6 is 6X. X times negative X squared. Now, this is a quadratic equation. To solve it, I have to have everything all on one side get equal to 0. So I'm going to add X squared to both sides. And I'll subtract 6X from both sides. So what I have now is 0 on this on the left side. Everything has been subtracted out. Equals, I'm going to put the X squared first, minus 6X plus 6.25. And I'll have to solve that. Nope. Because it's quadratic, I've got an X squared and an X in it. I can't just take pieces away and take it apart. I have to do something called factoring. I have to come up with numbers here that multiply to make 6.25 and add to make 6. So this becomes a guess and check type of deal. There is something called the quadratic formula that would help you solve this, but you guys don't know that yet. So let's try like 5 and 1.25. That doesn't quite add up to the negative 6, does it? So that means I've got to come up with something that's smaller on one of them. How about 4.5? What's 6.25 divided by 4.5? 1.38, that's not going to be big enough, right? So let's try 4.8 here. 1.3, that adds up to 6.1. Let's try 4.9. 1.27, that's getting close. That's 6.175, 6.18. 4.95. That's 6.21. 4.98, let's try. Oh, 4.97. What the heck? That's getting really close. That is 6.23 is what that adds up to, right? So 9.9, let's go. What the heck? Why did I say? Oh, because it's got to add to 6. I'm getting too big. They're multiplying to 6.25. They got to add to 6. I've got to go backwards. I went way past. I don't know why I was trying to add them up to 6.25. That's 6.1. That's too big yet at 4.8. So let's do 4.7. That's 6.02. That's closer. Let's do 4.65. There's a winner right there. 4.65. And about 1.35. So what that means is this length here, one of these two has to equal 0. Well, for this one to equal 0, it would be 4.65. For this one to equal 0, it would be 1.35. That makes no sense. That's too big. So about 1.35. If you were within like 7 or 8 hundredths. I mean, the exact answer is going to be this. One 1.3417 is the exact answer. So if you're within 5 or 6 hundredths of that, or 5 or 6 thousandths, I should say, you'll be okay. Okay, enjoy the test.